Okay, thank you, Martin. Okay, next we're going to have Tony Affigne from the Rhode Island Green Party say a few words.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. We believe that a livable, sustainable future is a future characterized by social justice, by democracy, by ecological restoration, and none of these are possible under conditions of war. When there is war, when the drones fly overhead and the missiles crash into weddings and school buses and picnics, when the bodies are strewn across the countryside, there can be no social justice. When the pickups loaded with machine guns ride into town, when the warlords send their soldiers to recruit young men and women as child soldiers, there can be no democracy, there can be no participation. When the forests are on fire and the rivers are poisoned and the animals are dying from the weapons of war, when depleted uranium and toxic chemicals are strewn across the countryside, there can be no ecological restoration. War is the ultimate assault on democracy. War is the ultimate assault on justice. War is the ultimate assault on equal rights and humanity. And war is the ultimate ecological catastrophe. We must end war. All war. Look around you, my friends. Look at the people you've seen for many years at peace rallies. Our strength is not measured in numbers because our numbers change. 51 years ago, at my first peace protest, there were 3 of us. 3 years later, I was in Washington with 500,000 peace demonstrators. Not all from my town. 3 years after that, on the south side of Providence with Henry Shelton and Jerry Elmer, a circle of residents of the Roger Williams public housing projects and the surrounding neighborhoods protested the B-1 bomber because we knew that the cost of war is paid not just with the blood and the tears of the victims, it's paid by the absence of education and healthcare and housing and all of the other human needs that suffer when the richest country on earth decides that it must spend the vast majority of its wealth on perpetual war and the machinery of war. We will never have human needs in our communities as long as the first recourse of the world superpower is violence. We must insist on negotiated settlements of conflicts everywhere. We want to believe that our country can do the right thing. There is evil in the world. We know that. But you cannot fight evil with evil. We must demand that our elected officials and our leaders of our churches and our universities and all of the institutions that make the United States so powerful, we must demand that they all insist on negotiated settlement of international disputes, the same way we must insist on peaceful dispute resolution here in our own communities. We want to believe that if there is evil in the world, that our country and our fellow citizens can be forces for good. But those innocent children who died 2 weeks ago are not evil. The wedding parties that died in Afghanistan were not evil. The hundreds of thousands of civilians who died in Iraq were not evil. Innocence always pay the price in blood for American wars. We are better than that. We must end war. Like many of you, I've been doing this for a long time. What is the right way to go forward? What is the right way to continue the peace movement? Is it rallies and protests outside the State House? Yes. Is it letters and petitions to our elected officials? Yes. But there's another piece to this puzzle that we need to take much more seriously than we have in the past. All politics are local. We need to bring the peace movement into our town councils, our city councils, and our state legislature as well. It is not all about Congress. It is not all about the White House. It's also about your neighbors and your friends and the people who represent you in town hall, city hall, and this building right here. You can run for office, you can run for the General Assembly on a peace platform because peace is costing your community millions of dollars and lives and harmony and progress. You can run for city council or town council on a peace platform because your town and city budgets are influenced by the tax system that is skewed to favor the rich and the defense contractors and the other architects of war. Please, let's not focus entirely on the presidential election and the congressional election. Let's also think about the ways that we can bring our neighbors into this movement from the bottom up. End war. We must end war. Thank you.